Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this pre-session recording of the third session. We ended the second session with the formation of the United Kingdom of Israel around 900 BC. In the third session, our focus will be on the historical events that were happening around the Kingdom of Israel and how the kingdom and the Bani Israel were influenced by it. In the third session, we will not be touching upon any prophets, but we will see which empires surrounded the Israelites from 900 BC onwards. We assigned 5 Edpuzzle videos to cover most of these empires. If you have not watched those videos, please make sure that you watch them before you join the live session. So hopefully you will have an idea of what is happening. Let's closely look at this map. The red area is the place where the United Kingdom of Israel was present, the area of Levant. So this is the area to the eastern side, and this is the area to the western side. Now let's try to get a rough idea about which empires were present on both of these sides and how the area changed from 900 BC onwards. For the time being, just try to memorize the flow of events. I will help you with it. We will do this memorization with a memorization technique called mnemonics. So let's move. The western side had the great Egyptian empire. On the eastern side, we have the Neo-Assyrian Empire that ended the United Kingdom of Israel. Israelites lived under this empire now. From now on, the Israelites will live under various empires. They will not have their own kingdom except for some brief times. The Neo-Assyrians are taken over by the Neo-Babylonians. Then the Achaemenid Empire takes all of the eastern side and much of the western side of the Egyptian Empire. The Greeks then take the Achaemenids on both sides. The Parthian Empire then takes most of the eastern side from the Greeks. The western side remains with the Greeks. The Roman Empire takes over the western side from the Greeks and the remaining portion of whatever portion of the Egyptian Empire is left, bringing an end to the Egyptian Empire. The Parthian Empire is taken over by the Sassanids. The Romans continue to be in the west. By the time of the birth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Makkah, the west is ruled by the Romans and the east by the Sassanids. Again, this is just a rough idea of the empires existing around Israelites. It's not that the Egyptian empire vanished in one day and the Achaemenid empire took over the very next day, or the Neo-Assyrian empire was taken over in a flash by the Neo-Babylonian empire. All of this gradually happened. What we intend to show through this slide is for you to have a view of the larger picture. I hope this makes sense. So now coming to memorizing. Let's use these abbreviations to remember the change of empires on both sides. On the west, it's EAGR or eager. And on the east, it's ABAGPS. So E for Egyptian, A for Achaemenids, G for Greek, and R for Roman for the western side, and A for Assyrian, B for Babylonian, A for Achaemenid, G for Greek, P for Parthian, and S for Sassanids on the eastern side. So I hope this mnemonic will help you to memorize the empires in order. Now, after Suleiman alayhi salam, the 12 tribes again did not agree on a common king, and a civil war emerged. This unrest resulted in breaking the kingdom into two. The United Kingdom of Israel now broke into the northern kingdom, known as the Kingdom of Israel or the Kingdom of Samaria, which was its capital city, and the southern kingdom known as the Kingdom of Judah. The Kingdom of Judah had the allegiance of 2 tribes among the 12 tribes. The tribes were the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. whereas the kingdom of Samaria had the allegiance of the remaining 10 tribes. So now these brothers have become enemies, and sometimes they even ally with these polytheistic neighboring kingdoms to fight against each other. So the pattern is repeating once again. And this time it's actually worse by going to war with your own brother and allying with a polytheist. So you can imagine what can happen in the coming future. Additionally, the practices of idol worshipping of the neighboring kingdoms also started creeping into the Israelites. All these practices of the Israelites are going to weaken the spiritual unity of the kingdom. This will lead to the fall of the Israelites and eventually the complete disintegration of the kingdom. We will see you in the live session where we will see how they are punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the coming centuries.